Yes, what's good? Eone back here again, and today we're going to be looking at how I created the drums on my latest track Arrival, which is out on the Prison EP on Noir Collective. Let's have a little listen to how these sound now. Nice weighty drums, really liking those. Now, a lot of those sounds, especially these ones here that are just kind of labelled as a number and then the actual instrument that they are, they're taken from Folo's pack, which is out on Liquid Ritual. Liquid Ritual supply me all the sounds for this one, has to be said. And yeah, some really, really powerful sounds. I mean, that kick, I'm barely post-processing that at all. Just running it through a drum bus, really, just to add a little bit of extra grip to it. The hats on there are beautiful. Got some nice snares. Again, just a little bit of EQ on there. Nothing overly fancy. That one's not even been processed. Some of these sounds are so good that they don't need to be, and I'm happy with that. As you know, I really, really like to twist my sounds out as much as possible, usually, but sometimes there's no need. If a sound is good, it's good in the first place. Now, when I run through my drums, I like to make sure that everything's panned to give it a nice space of width on there. As you can see here. Now the hats, I've got a little bit of processing on the go here. We've got some reverb, EQ just to catch any extra sounds. Got one there and one there. And this one here has been treated slightly differently. Got the beat repeater on that, which is just kind of on a random 40% chance. That works nicely. And again, just some EQing on there. Now when it comes to actually writing the patterns, the one thing that we need to make sure we're working with our velocity. If you have everything at 127 or just everything at the same velocity, it's going to sound very rigid, it's going to sound very robotic. And the whole point is we're trying to make our drum sound as human as possible. Obviously these aren't human style drums. These are definitely synthetic drums that we're using. Hence the reason why it's so important to add a little bit of human nature to it. And then I'll kind of do like a call and response. So I'll write different patterns on there, which work nicely. Now, as we can see on here as well, sometimes I'll write my drums in triplet mode. That's a little trick that I learnt from Gaster, but sometimes not. This one, I was pretty happy with how much string was involved in there, so that was great. Now the second part that I want to show you something today is my new drum effects rack. Now this thing is fantastic. Chuck it on the end of your chain, create your own. It's really lovely to do. And yeah, this is what it is. I've basically got 6 beat repeaters, and I'll start off on the very first one. It's just preset on there. That's how it is. When you very first load it up, it's the initialized patch, right? And each one gets a little bit more complex as it goes on, until it finally gets to the very last one. And these all work great in conjunction with a delay and a nice low pass filter. Now that delay, notice that the wet and dry and that filter is moving at the same time. And back in again. And I'm doing this using macros. Macros are a fantastic tool we can access using this little button here. And then I can map multiple parameters, like I've mapped the delay over to this one here. And I've also mapped that filter over to there as well, as we can see. And so that way, just add some really, really nice texture to that sound. Makes it a little bit more unique and interesting. The most important thing that I personally think is making sure to save your drums. Once I've saved them using this little save button here, I will then also make sure to add them into my collections. And as you can see here, I've got a range of different drums so that I can just drag and drop and load them in whenever I need them. That is the #1 way to help speed up your process, is using your collections, saving your presets, saving your patches. It's such an important thing to do. That's how we really start to build up speed when producing, and also that's how we start to build up our own sonic signature, something that you would have heard me speak about quite a few times before. So if you enjoyed that, make sure to tune in for the next third and final video. And don't forget, this track is now available to purchase as part of a 2-track EP, Prison, out now on Noir Collective, one of my favourite Polish wave labels, and also Neogrime. Big love, take care. Bye.